Unqualified as Fuck is the ultimate podcast for anyone hustling to find happiness in this crazy world. Whether you're deep in a relationship, stuck in a situationship, heartbroken, or just feeling lost, we've got your back.
Join us as we share our own experiences and guide you on your journey of self-awareness and elevation.
We're committed to offering diverse perspectives because we understand that there's more than one way to get shit done.
By the way, we're with the shits.
So tap in, get lit,
and let's get to the bag. Hello, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to another episode of the Unqualified as Fuck podcast. I am your host, Azar Faraday. This is the amazing, incredible, opulent Six, and this is the beautiful Jenny B. Thick.
What up, what up?
Today, we have a really great topic, but before we get into that, we just want to say thank you for everyone who is coming through to our live show on November 8th. We're really excited. We sold out in one day, and it is a blessing, okay? We're going to have a ball, and there'll be more to come, so don't worry if you missed out on this one.
and we definitely are looking forward to seeing you guys. And that is, y'all are the reason why we're doing this live show.
Facts.
We wanted to do something intimate and small and allow you guys to be there live to, feed off the energy and join the conversation. So again, echoing what Azar just said, I want to reiterate that we appreciate you. We love that we were able to sell that thing out in 24 hours.
Right.
There'll be, next year we plan on doing another show even bigger, so everybody that did not get a chance to buy a ticket, because I had people like, yo, it's sold out. I was trying to buy a ticket. I really wanted to come real bad. And I was like, well, there was people that wanted to come badder than you, which is why they got their ticket, right? But thank you. We appreciate it. And we're taking you guys on the journey with us. A lot of people don't want to start their dream because they don't want to be seen starting from the bottom.
Ooh.
But we're being so transparent about how we started this thing before we had 10 followers, before we had any blue checks, before we went viral. We had a vision, we had a dream, and we had the work ethic, and we didn't care where we had to start from. We just got started. So let this be a testament to how good God is.
Yeah.
If you work hard and stay dedicated, your small dream will turn big. So look for us for that kind of motivation. We're being transparent.
Yeah, we really are. And it, just so you guys know, whether it was a 50 people theater or a 10,000 people theater, like I have the same excitement I know Jen and Six does for, all of it, the entire journey. Like, I don't care. And I don't care if it's 3 people on live or 3 million people on our live. We're going to give the same energy, bring the same exact vibe that you guys want, like, because we love y'all. And those 3 people matter, just like those 50 people matter, like a lot.
And we trying to show them that follow your dream, and don't be ashamed or bashful or shy to have 3 people on your live. Don't be ashamed or shy to go out and do a concert and only 20 people show up. It don't matter. We want you to look at us and say if they can follow their dream, because we on our way to the top, but y'all following our journey, and we want to encourage you
absolutely
to follow your journey too. And I want to say this: most of your friends and family want to be a part of your success. They do not want to be a part of your journey.
Facts.
But the good news about that is, when you make it to the top, you get to enjoy your money and be able to say no without having any guilt.
Hello.
So it don't matter if they was there supporting or not. Love the ones who loving on you, and don't forget the ones who supported you all the way through. Because again, a lot of your friends and family, they want to be part of your success, but they don't want to be part of the journey.
Yeah, that's a fact. And, we're happy to be here. So we're going to go ahead and get into the topic. And I love this topic. We are going to talk about why your dating life is in shambles. Okay? Or your love life is in shambles, and what part do you play in that, because I feel like there is a lot of people who can say, there's not this, there's no good man, or there's no good woman, or there's, the dating pool is trash and all of these things, right? But at what point do you take accountability for what you attract?
I'll start off with like a little bit of what I did personally. So for me, one of the first things that I did was definitely take accountability. I saw myself in my relationships. The second thing that I personally did is realize that I wasn't as feminine as I thought I was. I allowed myself to digest that information, that advice. And I think one of the most pivotal things that I did personally was I stopped making men my enemy. I stopped making men the problem for my choices, for what they didn't do, what I allowed. Like, I just started saying, like, you know what? Everything's on me. Everything that I do is I'm taking accountability for it. I'm responsible. So I think, you know, recognizing your patterns, owning your choices, setting clear boundaries. I think that is the first thing, or the first line of defense to having a better love life. I have a couple more, but I'll
keep going.
No. Oh, you sure? Okay.
I mean, it's a couple more.
Yeah. Another thing is being honest about your intentions. Think about what are you dating for? I think if people are out there, want to catch a vibe, want to hang out, want to get drinks, there's men out there that want to hang out, going to catch a vibe, want to have drinks. Y'all made for each other. Enjoy. Take her on dates, do whatever you want to do, waste your money, have fun. I definitely think if you should know the difference between courtship and dating. There is a huge difference. So if you're dating intentionally, I'll just get into that. Like, that's the most important thing. Like, what do you want to do? And then, like, what do you want that to look like, right? So before you go on a date, what should you do? Y'all already might know how I feel about intentional dating and going on dates and what all that means. I think if there is no exchange of money, if there's no exchange of anything that's monetary, you can find out what their true intentions are. You can get a much more authentic person. You can avoid any manipulation. You can avoid love bombing. You can avoid, you know, your decisions are a little bit more, you're clear-headed when you're making decisions about like who you're going to go out with. And then get to know that person. And then decide if you want to meet up. Do something free, coffee, buy your own coffee, buy your own drink, whatever that is. Have a conversation. If that conversation transcends to a physical connection and you guys decide you want to date, start dating. Oversimplified, but that's kind of just the gist of like where my mind goes when I think about why people's love lives may not be working, or why your love life is in shambles. You're just not doing the hard work up front.
Okay, I think that's actually some really good points. I actually got chills on some of that because I resonate with a lot of that. And for me, I can honestly say, like, understanding that every relationship you have starts with you. And that is really hard to do when you are used to playing the blame game. And I think in general, women, we like to victimize ourselves a lot and never take accountability for our part we play in our own suffering. And a lot of my relationships, they ended. And, you know, a lot of them were because I chose the wrong man and you know, I stayed around for the wrong things. But it was really hard after those relationships ended to reflect on the things I did wrong, because I felt so guilty about it and ashamed. And I'm like, no, I'm not this person. I'm a good person. I'm not selfish. I'm all these things. But in reality, it was really important for me to stop playing the victim and start understanding where I can be better. And I think that a big shift for me was understanding that all your relationships are mirrors. They're mirrors to who and what you need to heal. And, you know, even I hear women say like, well, he's a narcissist, or he's this and I'm not that. You may not be a narcissist, but you have a certain unhealed trauma that allows him to prey on you. So there's something in you that believes the bullshit, goes for it, believes the manipulation, because you want so badly to have X, Y, and Z. And I think that when we have this desperate energy and we're like wanting to check these boxes so badly, we are not, that's also your problem, you know, because you're allowing so much stuff to happen to you. And I remember I was in a relationship and the relationship ended, and looking at myself and realizing like, wow, you relinquished all your boundaries. You allowed this person to walk all over you. This person only was able to do those things because you gave them the power to do so, because you didn't understand your self-worth. Or you constantly attract someone who's emotionally unavailable. There is something in you that is also emotionally unavailable, or there's something in you that is unhealed that keeps surrounding yourself with these same people. And when you give yourself the opportunity to say, no, I don't want that anymore, you show God and the universe that you're no longer messing with that. Bring me something new. And I'll end it with this, and I'll let Six talk. But again, this is something that I say all the time. The only toxic relationship I ever been in is with myself, and every other relationship is a reflection of that. The healthier you get, the more you love yourself, the less bullshit you're willing to accept, and the more amazing people you're going to attract in your life too. Because if you're incredible, trust and believe, you're not the last person on this earth that's an incredible person. There's other people that embody your same energy, your spirit, your love. You just have to get to that point where that's what you're attracting.
I don't have no rebuttals for any of that. All that is really great stuff. I want to section this off because I want to talk about the work that needs to be done before you enter a relationship.
And way before.
Which keeps your love life in shambles. And then the work that has to be done while you're in a relationship that keep your love life in shambles. So let's section this thing off, and I want you guys to listen intently because I'm about to drop some real gems on you, and hopefully it resonates and you'll be able to go back and identify some of these traits in yourself or somebody that needs help and rectify them. So I want to say this first. The most ubiquitous trait a lot of women have in this era is they leave one relationship and hop right into the next. Imagine being a boxer, having the fight of your life, the biggest fight of your life, went 12 rounds, and you barely won. And then a promoter coming to you like, yeah, I got your next fight lined up. It's next week.
Or you didn't even win.
It don't matter if you did win. It was the biggest fight of your life.
Yeah.
Your body is hurt. How you gonna go fight and think you're gonna be successful next week? You didn't even give your body time to heal or train. Y'all leaving relationships and not even reflecting and taking inventory of what was missing inside that relationship that you didn't bring to the table before you rush into the next relationship. Because when you do that, you more than likely will choose wrong because you're going to choose from a place of trauma. Let me ask you a question. Name one meal for sure, one thing if you sick that you're going to eat. When you sick, you're going to eat this.
Soup.
When you sick, you're going to eat this.
Yeah, like with a cold,
Yeah, what you going to eat?
Yeah, soup.
When you not sick, what you going to eat? Just name anything.
Tacos.
Pizza.
Can't go wrong
All right.
with tacos.
So when you leave one relationship before you heal and you choose your next mate, that's like choosing soup. You were sick. What happens when you start to heal? You're not eating that soup no more. You're not even going to like him no more. Because you're not sick no more. You understand that analogy?
Yes.
You chose him because you were sick. Understand that analogy? You chose your new mate from a place of trauma.
I've been there.
But now, 2-3 years later, you found yourself again. You relocated your confidence, your self-esteem, and you realize we don't have that much in common. Because again, how often do you eat soup when you're not sick? Tell the truth.
I don't like soup.
Exactly. Not very often. So
like
then that's what happens with the men you're dating.
Yeah.
When you choose from a place of trauma. When you heal and come back to yourself and you're not having an atypical year, you be like, wow, how did I end up here? I don't really like this person. So that's the main reason
That's
going into it why your love life is in shambles. So I think that it's wise to take a beat, take a strategic pause from dating. After you exit a relationship that you've been in for longer than 6 months, 3 months if it was tumultuous. You need at least a 365-day pause.
I agree. And when you say pause, I just want to say this because I think a lot of women get this messed up. Just because you're not in a relationship with a man doesn't mean that you aren't messing around with people. Like if you're entertaining a man, that's not a pause. If you're entertaining, texting, talking on the phone, going on a date, hanging out here and there, that's not a pause. How many women can honestly say they pause and not even entertained a man?
I have a question. Does that pause mean no sex too? I'm not pausing for 365 days.
See, I'm not here to police no one's vagina.
Of course
I can't attest to that. I will say it. If you are a lover girl, then you probably don't want to have sex because part of your feelings is located in your clitoris.
Me.
And the better the sex, the more in love you're going to think you are during that period. So what should have been a booty call end up a fake relationship and a half-ass relationship that turned into a real relationship that turned into a tumultuous relationship. So if you know your vagina, gets real clingy, you might not want to be having sex during that period.
Okay.
But you need to take a real pause. Y'all jump from one relationship straight to the next relationship. Like y'all don't even spend 6 months by yourself. No wonder you can't keep a man. You can't keep your own. You don't even enjoy your own company. You haven't even got to a spot where you enjoy yourself so much that no amount of abs, no height, 6 foot, 7 foot, no nothing is going to be like, I'm going to relinquish my peace for this. Ooh, he look good. I'm going to relinquish. Nah, get so comfortable with yourself that no matter what he look like, what he driving, what his status is, you like, I'm not compromising my peace for you because I like my peace. And that's where y'all go wrong at. Y'all not spending enough time with you. You don't love yourself enough.
And you know what? There's a difference because even when I was going through it, you have helped me through some stuff. And I feel like there's a big difference in how I feel now, I promise you, than how I felt last year. Like, it is so different because I am not thirsty for no man because I feel so good alone. Like, you have to be a hell of a motherfucker to come and disrupt this piece right here because I'm not desperate to be a part of something that you have going on over there. And matter of fact, I'm very careful on who I'm going to attach myself to, because we gonna have to be like we driving Miss Daisy, baby. We going slow than a motherfucker.
But even back then, when you was in transition, I said, Azar, you need to read, get into the gym. You have to do all the things that make you a better you.
Doing that,
scrolling online. I'm talking to them out there. Scrolling online don't make you a better you.
Yeah,
going to the club ain't making you a better you. Hooking back up with your ex ain't making you a better you. Y'all do everything to subdue the pain and distract you. Y'all do it, to subdue the pain and
distract you
from what you need to be healing. And that is why your love life is in shambles going into the relationship. Now, once you win that relationship, let me ask you a question. I want the ladies to pay attention. Azar or Jen, both of y'all, let me ask you, at any point in your life, did you become successful enough to buy a luxury automobile?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you didn't say that with enthusiasm. You didn't like the car you bought?
Oh no, I was stuck on your. I wanted to ask you a question before you transition to the next segment.
Ask the question then. I get it. Do you have a question?
I'm concerned about the healing part. Right? Can relationships not work out and not be from a place of trauma? Can relationships just be like, oh, you know what? I've grown out of that, or I've grown.
No. Because if you are in a relationship and was really in it, then you had vested interest. And that is, when a relationship dissolved, that's the death of a relationship.
But sometimes death brings life. You can breathe your...
No time does death mean life. Death means death and life means life. No time does death mean life. And when you lose...
Well, maybe I mean beginning and end. Let's not say death and life. Let's say beginning and ending.
You mean like rebirth?
So, to a degree. Like, I guess what I'm asking...
Yeah, but there is no such thing for the most part of losing someone you loved and care about and you don't have any feelings towards it. There's feelings there. There is some type of emotional discourse that this relationship dissolving is going to cause you. And if you don't address that, again, you're going to choose from a place of trauma. It's like choosing to have soup when you're not sick. Most people don't eat soup unless they're sick. So if you choose from a place of trauma, this person is bringing something you feel you need right now. I'm lonely. They keeping me company. What happens when you're no longer sick? You're no longer going to eat the soup.
I guess what I'm asking you is, are you saying that the end of a relationship is always negative?
For the most part, yes. And there is no spin that you can put on that. Because unless you went into the relationship knowing, yo, you're on a 6-month lease.
Well,
so if you can go into a relationship knowing it's going to end, then yeah, you ain't going to feel no way.
But I feel like that's a false sense of reality, because then you can't control when relationships end.
Right, and
you're
you
not
also
the only
can't
one
control
in it.
that you feel bad that you're losing something that you had.
Well, this is what I think too. Like, I feel like, I don't know if this is what you're trying to say, so I could be wrong. But like, is the end of a relationship always difficult? I believe so, even if it's not negative. Meaning, like for me, it may be a positive thing that you left this person and that you guys are no longer, pair bonding. But no matter what, you create routines around relationships.
Sure.
So every day I'm used to talking to this person. Every day this is my go-to call. No matter what you create and no matter what routine you create in your life, whether it's talking to a person, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's, you wake up in the morning and get a Starbucks coffee, breaking that habit is always going to cause discourse in your life.
But that's surface level. It go deeper than that. If the relationship dissolved, then something went wrong.
People can just want different things.
That means something went wrong.
What's wrong with that?
Wait, let me ask you, did you enter the relationship knowing you wanted different things?
Well,
Pause. Let me say this. I'm going to let you. But if you didn't go into the relationship knowing you wanted different things, then that means you thought that you wanted the same thing.
But that's against evolution at its best. People evolve, they change, they expand, and other people may not go with you. It doesn't mean it's negative and terrible and you're going to be trauma and you got to go back and hide for a little bit and heal your wounds. It just means, I was in a relationship that didn't work out. That doesn't mean you got to take a hiatus.
No, that does mean you have to take a hiatus. And people who think like you, and no disrespect, tend to not be in a successful relationship because they don't feel like they need to heal. Just like a boxer, like I whipped his ass, I won that fight. Get my next fight going. No, something went wrong there.
And you know what else I'll say?
Something went wrong. You have to address what went wrong.
And you know what?
We wanted different things.
What could have went wrong too is that at the beginning, this is what I see happen with women a lot and men. At the beginning of the relationship, we didn't take the time to see if we were really compatible. We didn't see if our foundation was the same because we were so caught up in the lust and the love. And again, they were probably fulfilling some type of need or some type of trauma bonding situation that you had. And you were so caught up in that you weren't really taking the time to figure out if you guys had the same foundation, the same core values, the same life that you want to build together. And again, that is a core issue in a lot of people's relationship.
I don't disagree.
That might be the case, but what I'm saying, if a relationship dissolved and you was really into that relationship, there will be some type of residual effects that you should take inventory of before you enter your next relationship, because I can guarantee you it won't be happy and healthy and fruitful because you ain't healed and addressed what made that relationship dissolve. So you're not even knowing what role you played.
But that's just assuming that's your fault.
Everything is your fault. You chose this person.
I can't control if someone changes.
Everything that happened in his life is your fault.
What I mean by that is people change.
People do change.
Okay. So you used to eat at Applebee's. You don't eat there no more.
Okay.
You eat at other restaurants.
So I don't understand your point though.
So the point is like you just evolve and you want something else. It doesn't have to be
Applebee's and not wanting to eat at Applebee's don't mean that I'm gonna have a bad relationship. My wife don't eat at Applebee's either. We grew together.
Right.
People will grow. Yes. But either you're gonna grow together or you're gonna grow apart. The question is how after 19 years y'all end up growing together and not growing apart.
I mean, if you waited 19 years to figure that out, but if you knew it before, then I understand. I'm just saying.
You don't know. That's what I'm saying.
You don't know
before
what you don't know.
Find that out in it. A lot of these things, these intangibles to make a relationship work, these intangibles have to be readily accessible. Readily accessible. Like.
But you've changed. You're not the same man you were 19 years ago.
But my wife has changed too. We grew together.
Correct.
So if you was in a relationship with your person and y'all grew apart, then you got to ask, how did we grow apart? We could have grown together.
Sure. But you can't control that.
You do have a level of control over growing together. You do. And if you don't think you have a level of control of growing together, then it's all but sign sealing and delivering the fact that you probably won't have a relationship that's happy, healthy, and fruitful with longevity, because you've decided that people are going to grow apart. But they don't have to grow apart.
I just think it's just things that happen. It's
it
life.
Don't just happen.
Such is life.
You have a role in that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. For the listeners out there, you do play a part. I'm proof. You play a part in that. I'm not the same person, but she ain't the same person. But somehow, 19 years later, we still together and stronger than ever because we decided to grow together. That is an art form. That takes work. That takes both of us having a keen sense of accountability and understanding the minutia of our partner's soul, the crevice. That takes work. You can't skip that and be like, yeah, we just outgrew each other. That happens. But it don't necessarily have to happen. There's people that's been together 40 years, twice as long, as me and my wife been together. They could have grown apart, but they didn't. They grew together. So there has to be some type of systematic, cognitive responsibility on both parties if they're going to grow together. And if y'all did not grow together, that means that there was a lapse in that. There was something went wrong, and all I'm doing is admonishing you against not taking inventory before you jump into your next relationship. That's all I'm doing. You can try it. If y'all listening, somebody tell me a story of when it went the other way. I haven't seen it go the other way. I don't know all things, but I know I haven't seen it go the other way. Everybody has a part in the dissolvement of their own relationship.
Of course.
We all have a part in it. So all I'm saying is find out what your role was so you don't repeat that in your next relationship.
Okay.
You need to heal.
So before you move on to your next part, I just want to my last little pick at that, I guess, is what does that look like for that specific scenario? So let's say you and your mate did grow apart. How could that be your fault?
No one goes from 0 to 100. You don't just leap into who you are. You evolve over time. Okay. How did you not notice that your partner was evolving? How did you not notice that your partner all of a sudden, for example, just give an example, don't like to go to clubs no more? How did you not notice that your partner there's no one just snaps their finger and there's no evolution button. That is a process.
But
how did you not notice the process?
So that
not notice the process?
That means you're foreseeing the future.
That don't mean it's you're in it. What do you mean the future?
Exactly.
How is it the future?
That's when you're making the decision. We're growing apart. I want to get out of this relationship because we're not going in the same direction. How can you not know before you know?
Again, evolution is not a button you press and it happens instantaneously. It happens over a course of time.
And I don't know if this is what I guess I'm just trying to bridge the gap of what you're trying to say. And I don't know if I'm wrong if this is what you're saying. But so let's say that your partner decides, I want to stop. I stop enjoying the club. Like, I no longer like the club, and you notice your partner no longer liking the club, but you still love the club. And you still want to hit the club every fucking day. Do you force yourself to say, okay, I don't like the club anymore now too? Because this person is evolving and changing and wanting different things. And I actually still, and again, we know I don't like the club, but I'm saying I actually still enjoy going to the club. This is just an example.
Right.
I'm asking, what do you do in that scenario?
You ask your mate, why don't you enjoy going to the club no more? Maybe they have access to some information that you have not yet discerned, and you go, wow, I never thought about it like that. Okay. You're right, babe. So that means that the communication wasn't there. So again, that's something that you have to go back and take inventory of. What was missing? The communication, because they didn't.
Do you feel like that helps?
They didn't just evolve. They didn't just evolve.
It's a decision that one day I decided I don't want to do it anymore. My mate does. We decided, okay, well, that's cool. Enjoy your life. I don't want to do that. I guess what I'm saying is maybe doesn't matter, but what I'm trying to get at is is it all bad? Is it all negative? I think, again, we're evolutionary beings. We're expansive beings. If we outgrow a situation, jobs, pay, car, everything we outgrow, everything we expand, we make more money. In general, we're an expansive race or whatever. I don't know what to call it. We're expansive in general. So if something changes for you and your mate just doesn't want that anymore, that could be amicable and that could be fine. And that does not require
yes, that is true.
healing.
It's still
what did I do wrong because they just want to do something different with their life?
Again, there's always an element of healing when you lose something. There's always an element that needs to be addressed, and you need to have a conference with yourself. You cannot avoid that. And now some people do avoid that. And that's why they get in relationships that don't have a beautiful texture because they avoided the work. And all I'm trying to do is admonish you to not avoid the work and jump in a relationship like, oh, I'm healed. That was cool. Because yes, you can dissolve a relationship and it could be amicable. But there's still going to be some level of residual effects and some level of responsibility on you to go, what happened?
You know, the things you want are hiding in the work you're avoiding.
Ooh.
Always. Every time.
We should have took her up on that tequila. I was reaching for something.
You wanted to cheers to that. But I know we only got a couple minutes left, so I want you to be able to get to your next point.
Okay, so this is what I was about to say. Have either of you two been successful enough to purchase a luxury automobile?
Yes.
What about you, Jen?
Yes.
Did you love the car you had?
Yeah.
Did you love the car you had?
It was functional.
The car you have now, you just was telling us, you bought $100,000 car.
I love the car I have now. Yeah.
You love the car you have now.
Yeah.
And you love the car you had. And it was not just a regular car. It's a luxury automobile. True or false? Luxury.
You said have or had. I love the car
I
have.
Correct. Yeah, okay. A luxury automobile, right? And you got the car you wanted, right?
Yes, I did.
And you love it, right?
Correct.
What about you, Azar? You had a car you loved that was luxury?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And you loved it?
I loved it, but I think that I learned something about myself when
Before
I started
you go into that
luxury.
dissertation, did you love the car?
Yeah.
Okay, you loved the car. She loved her car that she wanted, and it was luxury. It wasn't an average car. Let me ask you a question. Is the car you got right now a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder or an 8-cylinder?
I don't know. It's all
Let me ask you a question. Is the car you got right now, the oil, does it take, say, W30, or does it take, say, 55, or does it take synthetic or a blend?
I don't know. I have no
What
idea.
about you?
I don't know any of those things.
And that is the problem with women in most relationships. Y'all want these high-value men.
Oh, here we go. Now you're walking us into a brick wall.
No, it ain't a brick wall. It's for everybody out there to listen. You see how these women want a high-value man?
First of all.
Wait, let me land my plane. Women want a high-value man. The man of their dreams. But don't even know what it takes to take care of him. You don't know if your man is a religious man or a spiritual man.
I usually like your analogies, but that one was whack.
Okay, but let me get it out. And it could be whack. Because that is the problem with women. This ain't about y'all, but again, y'all are blessed enough to be like, oh, I got the car I wanted. But there's women like, I want this kind of man. I want that kind of man. You don't even know how to take care of him when you get him.
I know I can drop my car off at the dealership and tell them to do whatever it needs to be done with it.
Of course, you can pass the buck to someone else.
Of course. I'm not going to change the oil myself.
The point is, women want this man, this methodical man. But they don't, much like cars, don't even know how to take care of the man they really want. And I finally got, less about maintaining him and all what he's supposed to do to maintain you. That's the point. This go beyond you. That was the analogy. That was the apologue I wanted to use. And that is why your love life is in shambles. Because even if you get the man that you said you wanted, once you get him, you don't even know how to take care of him.
And it's the same with the man. I feel like men get women all the time and they try to use all these different things to get her money or whatever else it may be. And then when it comes down to really maintaining that woman, they don't have the means to do it. And I'm not even just talking financial. I'm talking emotional. I'm talking physical. I'm talking all around embodying the man that a woman needs in order to be in a happy and fruitful relationship. And I feel like men do that all the time too. And it's like you're dating out of your price range. You bought a car that you really can't afford and now you can't pay the note.
I agree, but this is why I always say if you need money to get her, she ain't the one. So there for a man, there should not be no dating outside your price range.
Yeah.
Because if you want a queen, you got to earn a queen. You can only buy a whore. So if there's a entry price, then you put a down payment on your own calamity.
But let's talk about not even just price. I know a lot of men who go into relationships and by providing this emotional support that they really can't sustain. I know men who will come into a relationship acting like,
but that's
it looks like
though,
a love bombing. It looks like a man comes in and he's like, I love you so much. I'm so supportive. You said your stomach hurts. I got you enzymes. You say you need this. I got you this. You say you want this. I love you. I'm thinking and thoughtful and I'm thinking. And then as soon as they got you, all of that goes out the window. And it's a classic love bombing situation. And men do that. And it's not just financial. And I think a lot of women fall for that more than they fall for the money shit. Honestly. Because
that happens.
They fall for that a lot. And then it's what happens is the man starts taking away that. And then you as a woman are working 10 times as hard to get that same love he gave you at the beginning. When that love wasn't even who he really was. Who he is who he is now. But you're going to work and then he's going to give you a little bit and then he's going to take it away and give you a little more and you're going to love it. And then you're going to end up getting 30% and you're going to be like, it's great because he's breadcrumbing your ass. And that's what happens a lot. And I have been tricked by that. And I was only able to be tricked by that because I was insecure, because I wasn't at the highest level of who I am, because this person knew I can come in and I can fulfill a need that this woman wants. She wants to be loved so badly. She wants to feel like she's the one. Can I ask you a question?
The guy in mention you talking about right now, how long were you out of a relationship before you met him?
I was out for a year.
Did you do the work?
I didn't do as much work as I could have. I probably entertained a bunch of men at the time.
So it goes back
Didn't have sex, but still.
It goes back to my point, which is do the work.
Yeah,
because if she had it, can that happen now?
Hell no.
Because she's been doing the work. So it goes back to my original point on that topic.
Hell yeah.
In between relationships, there's work that need to be done.
I agree.
And you said how you put it, the work you...
I said everything you want is hiding in the work that you're avoiding.
You have to do that work.
Yeah.
But also, I would be remiss if I didn't say sometimes men get with women and they become emotionally taxing. Like you said, hey, your stomach hurting, here go enzymes. But if every week you got a problem, this generation has the most prettiest bums I ever met.
Yeah, I agree with that
Like she always got a problem every week. There's always something with her and it becomes emotional taxing.
I agree with that.
Pair that with the fact that she don't even know how to make him feel good.
Yeah.
She don't even know when something's wrong with him.
I agree.
But if he was cheating, she'll be able to figure that out when I think he's cheating.
And
why you can't figure out that he's having a hard time at work or a hard time getting his business off the ground, but you can figure out, I think he's cheating.
And you know what else that kills me about like people in general is cheating is messed up. But cheating is not the only fucked up thing you can do in a relationship. Let me be very clear. There's a lot of things that you can do in a relationship that are not cheating. So I think that there's a lot of women where we'll be like, he cheated on me. And then you're like, that's it. You abolish yourself from any accountability of the relationship. Like he cheated, so yeah, it was a fucked up relationship. But why aren't you talking about all the things that you weren't bringing to the table? Why weren't you identifying his needs or vice versa? Why weren't you identifying her needs? Because for me, when I see a table, when people ask me what I bring to the table, what does the table need? Let me look at it first.
See, and that goes to my point I was making when I used the car analogy. A lot of women out there, and I really want you to, I hope this resonates. Y'all are asking for something that you don't even know how to maintain.
Yeah.
And men as well.
Who's sitting on this couch right now can tell me why a man prefers silence?
What do you mean? Why he wants silence?
Yeah, why do men prefer silence?
Because they got a lot on their mind. They want to think. Or they don't want to think. I don't know. They want to watch the game and chill out. They just like the quiet.
I feel like, too, I think a man has a lot on his plate, depending on what type of man it is.
Yeah.
So it's like, for a man, that quiet is that peace. It's
Yeah.
peaceful. Either that or they have a lot on their mind. It's one or the other.
Well, I like silence too. Shit.
But I do too. I think as you get older, it's peaceful. It's like you don't have to feel.
You don't have to always be
saying something every 2 minutes. But I think that with women and men, it's like I said, we can bring something, like you could be looking at a table and the table can already have salt and pepper. And you're like, well, I brought you salt and pepper. And it's like, I didn't need salt and pepper. I needed plates and knives. Okay.
Right.
So
Right.
you're bringing me something I don't even need, and then you're wanting credit for it instead of you identifying what I need and then bringing me that. Instead, you're deciding what you have to offer is enough. When I'm sorry, but that's not what I need. I don't need salt and pepper. So you want to get credit for something that you brought me that I did not need. And instead of you trying to shut up and understand what it is that your man may need or your woman may need, you want to, I brought this, I brought that. You brought something I didn't need, baby. I already have that.
There's a lot of women, and I keep going back to this, that just do not know how to administer to a man's soul. So you could say all men ain't shit. Because since the time you've been dating at 15 years old and now you 35, you have never had a successful, happy, healthy, fruitful relationship in that time span. And you can clearly say all them guys wasn't shit. That's a different story because you picked them all. But what happens when you do get the man you want? You're not even prepared to take care of him. You don't even know how to make him feel 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
And women are not romantic. Y'all want romance, but y'all not romantic in general.
True.
Y'all not running bubble baths and doing, y'all not, in general, y'all want romance, but y'all not romantic.
True.
In general. Y'all not rubbing his head, but you want a feet rub. You're not like, hey, go get your hair cut, go get that taper. But you want your nails. There's nothing romantic about a woman.
Yeah.
She demands romance from you, but she's not romantic. And then when that man's love cup is on E and he begins to act funny, they do what they do with their car. I'm finna take it to the shop. They take the man to the shop. What's wrong with you? You walking around here.
True. That's true.
They project.
Yeah.
You didn't put the right oil in me, baby.
Ooh. And guess what? Every woman out there that's saying men are not shit, you're not shit. I'm going to keep it real.
Over.
Because the only reason why men are not shit is because you're not shit and that's what you're attracting, okay? So, like, I don't believe that. Listen, every man that I ever attracted that wasn't shit was because of me. It was because there was something in me that was attracted or bonded or attached because I did not heal my trauma. So I was accepting of all of that.
Exactly.
So that's the bottom line. So if you're saying that all the men around you are not shit, you need to go back and you need to look at yourself in the mirror and you need to figure out what about you needs to change so you can attract what you really want. And you got to figure out if you are even who you really want. If you're not the person that you want, then baby, that's not the person for you. If you want a physical man and you don't even go to the gym, that's not a person for you. If you want a wealthy man and you ain't got a job, that ain't the person for you.
The coldest bar I ever heard came from Jenny B. Thick. You can't play with a person who ain't playing.
Right.
Hello, that is a bar. You can't play with a person.
How do a man treat you or a woman like you not shit if you're not playing? You can't play with a person
who's not
playing.
So that's the truth.
So if you're playing too in any way, shape, or form, then that means you didn't do the work. And you sign on for this game.
Absolutely.
And sometimes you might get the best of it, and sometimes you might get the worst of it. But you signed up to play this game.
Absolutely.
There's
so
also
take your silickons.
Take your what?
Silickons.
What's the hell is that?
Okay.
Take your silickons. I want to add a little bit to what Azar was saying because I do believe that a lot of people say that. But I have a little caveat.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
I believe that everything is energy.
Me too.
You can be shit and not attract shit. It's not about what you're attracting. It's about what you believe is out there. You cannot be shit and still believe you deserve the world and get it. It has nothing to do with, I'm not shit, so everybody around me is not shit. You're not attracting shit because you're not shit. You're attracting what you believe because they are the glasses
I agree with that
you put on. You're only going to see ain't shit men.
I agree.
So that's why I said in the beginning, one of the first things that I did was stop blaming men for my problems. I stopped blaming men for the men that I chose. I started taking accountability for the people that I was choosing. And the first thing I decided to do was like, I'm not going to talk. I told my friends, I told everyone, I was like, I'm not talking crap about men no more.
Let's give them homework. You guys write this down. Jen, repeat that again. This is how you can mitigate your love life being in shambles. The first thing you did was what? Now I want y'all to write this down and take inventory of it and make sure you're doing these things and be watchful for exactly what we're about to say right now. We're going to give you actionable items. So the first thing you did was what, Jen?
Take accountability. Took accountability for every relationship, everyone I interacted with, everything I decided to do on me 100%. 2, femininity. Get it up. 3,
I love it. Get it up.
Get it up.
Stop blaming men for your decisions. Wait, let me say it again. Number 3, stop blaming men for your issues.
Period.
They're not the problem. I'm going to say it right now because I'm a woman. I'm going to say it as a woman. I'm not going to say nothing as men are not the problem. Men are not the problem. And the reason why I say that is because if you are going to sit around and say that there's no good men out there, the universe is going to continue to show that to you because that's the freeway you're on. That's the frequency you're on. They're going to pop up and you're going to say, see, look, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy to sit around and say that there is not men out there. That's all that's going to show up. I changed that narrative a very long time ago. And I said, men love me. Men are obsessed with me. Men want to do things for me. Men have good intentions for me. Men want to spend money on me at the time. Not the same person, but I'm just going to be honest and transparent. Like, I fully intended to start making decisions that were based in reality for me. And it's impossible for a good man to show up if you think there's no good men out there.
Ooh, that's a bar. And you know what?
Oh, can I let that sizzle? Let's repeat that again.
It is impossible for a good man to show up if you believe that there are no good men out there. Why would they show up? You don't believe they're there.
Facts.
It's impossible. They're not going to show up. The universe can't cajole you and say, hey, wait, no, he's over here. You're going to keep missing him because you're looking for the bad guy.
And you know what? I think both things can be true, right? I think that when you're not shit and you're sitting in that and you feel that, you will attract not shit. And I also think when you're just on a frequency where you're like, men are not shit. I remember one time I was young and I told my dad, like, there's no good guys. And he was like, there's a lot of good guys, but you're not on that frequency to attract them.
Right.
Yeah.
Like look at your cousin, look at this, they're married, they're that, these are doctors, these are lawyers. You're not surrounding yourself with those type of people. So you're not seeing that. Do you ever realize, every time I break up with a man, it's funny, like when I'm off of a frequency, I don't even see them same people no more.
Right.
I don't even run into you because
they don't exist in that new version.
You don't
of yourself.
exist. It's almost like when you hop into a new frequency, you're on a whole new.
That's why we live in a multiverse. I tell people that all the time.
I agree.
And some people don't exist in this version of you.
Because I don't even run into that.
If you hop on another freeway.
Some actionable steps they need to do to make sure that their love life is not in shambles.
Okay, so I'm gonna start here. For me, because I wrote some stuff down. I want to make sure.
Go ahead. Make sure it's
Number
an actionable
one
item.
Is same as Jenny. It starts with you. So look in the mirror and identify the things that you don't love about yourself. Understand the things about yourself that you find unattractive or unappealing and that you would not like in other people. Because there was a lot of things about me that I understood and realized that I wouldn't want someone else to be like this. So I have to start with myself. I have this written down. It's funny because Six said this. People jump from one relationship to the next without reflecting on what they brought to the table.
So
ask yourself, are you really ready to date or are you repeating past mistakes? Number 2, stop playing the blame game. Okay? Accountability means understanding what you're doing to allow these type of people into your life. And number 3 is your standards reflect your self-worth. So if you keep settling for red flag behavior, you need to check your standards and you need to ask yourself, are you really afraid of being alone or do you genuinely believe that you deserve better?
I like that terminology, red flag behavior.
Because
That's a topic we need to do. I like that. Red flag behavior.
That's a good one. We should do that. You can keep choosing red flags and you can't keep choosing red flags and expecting green lights.
Make sure you write that down, y'all, because you want to be aware that you're not committing relationship infractions. So, and I'll close it out with this. Make sure So if you find something that Jenny said, Azar said, and I said, then you know that's something you definitely should do. Because I'm about to reiterate and echo what they just said. You need to heal before you enter your next relationship. You need to spend time with date on yourself. A lot of y'all don't want to date yourself because you don't like you.
Right? That's crazy.
Like, you don't even like you.
You know, I hear women say they won't go to
You get bored with your own self. So you know a man gonna get bored with you. You can't even sit in the house with your own self.
I was afraid of that. And I was afraid of being in myself with my own thoughts. I had to constantly distract. And I've heard women say, because I go to dinner by myself all the time. Y'all know that about me. And I hear women say, like, I would never go to dinner alone. I just can't do it. And it's like, why? But you expect someone to go to dinner with you.
Because they have to pay.
Not even that. I think that. It's not even sometimes that. I feel like because you'll go with your homegirls and pay, you just don't want to be alone with your thoughts.
Yeah, I don't get it.
I love my company.
I love my thoughts.
But I did not at one point.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. Yeah. It's okay. But date yourself.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that you get to know you. The more you get to know you, the more you can see the fault in your own ways and see the part you played in your failed relationship because you played some part. And you want to rectify that before you enter your next relationship because it's your mentality going into a relationship that can make it dissolve. Let me say this. Women often register their delusional relationship expectations as standards. You're delusional. Those are not your standards. You haven't been in one relationship with longevity that was successful that had those things. That's not a standard. That's a fallacy. That's a fantasy. But you've registered these long laundry lists of wishes as these are my standards and I'm not compromising my standards.
But how are they your standards if you don't even do it for yourself?
But that's what I was getting around to. That's what I was getting around to.
Something like
I want a man who's physically fit and you sit up and eat bonbons and sit on the couch all day.
Right.
How is that your standard? It's not your standard for yourself.
Or I want a man that's going to pay the bills and I don't do nothing. You don't even pay your own bills. Put them on auto pay and then talk. You ain't grown until your bills is on auto pay.
All my bills are on auto pay.
When your bills are on auto,
every single one.
When your bills are on auto pay, that's a different level of adulting.
I gotta be on auto pay.
You doing that? You are different.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Bills are on auto pay. You are different.
I don't even know.
You deserve those red bottoms. You deserve that Chanel purse because that is your standards. That we separated by auto pay. So don't talk to me about how grown you is and how your standards are if your bills ain't on auto pay. That just means that you want another man to come in and fill your gaps, and pick up your load because those ain't your standards. Like I said, women often register their delusional relationship expectations as standards, but those ain't standards, baby. That's a fallacy, a fantasy wish list. Because you've never lived like that. But you want a man to come in and give you something that you have yet to give yourself and probably can't even provide to him. Work on your femininity. I hear a lot of women say they high value. You can't be high value unless you feminine. High value to who?
Right.
High value to who?
Right.
I don't care. I make 7 figures. What that got to do with the type of man you said you want? Because the type of man you want is already a high earner. He don't even need your money. That's not going to impress him. He don't need your money. He needs somebody that's going to love him right. He needs somebody that know how to cook his meals the way he knows. He needs somebody that know when to be quiet.
It's just like bringing salt and pepper to the table when there's already
I love
salt
that
and pepper
analogy.
Yeah, that's a good analogy.
That's not what it needed.
I love that analogy. But yeah, do the work before you enter your next relationship. I had a friend. Her son played Pop Warner football. And she would go on the weekends and then come work out. And then I'd be like, how was the game? She'd be like, it was good. They won? Yeah, they won. And I'm like, but you don't seem excited. Well, my son didn't play. And I'm like, dang. I'm like, what's his position? He quarterback. I'm like, oh. And she was like, yeah, but he played only once this year. I'm like, oh, okay, well, they'll put him in. Fast forward, a couple of weeks later. Oh, how was the game? Oh, it was cool. It was cool. They lost. No, they won. Well, what's the matter? They didn't put my son in. Oh, dang, they're not putting him in. Fast forward a little time. How was the game? Oh, it was good. They won. Nah, they lost, but they put my son in. your son was quarterback, and how was that to see him play? She was like, it was cool, but he was kind of messing up. I was like, messing up like how? She was like, when I talked to him after the game, he was just like, Mom, I didn't understand the plays. I didn't remember the plays. I didn't even listen to the message in that story. This little boy wanted to be quarterback, but wasn't even prepared. He wasn't prepared. He really wanted to get in this game and play. Mm-hmm. And when his number got called, he wasn't ready. You really want a good man, right? I want a good man. Mm-hmm. But when you meet a good man, you ain't ready. You're not prepared. You did not ready yourself for a good man. So you won't successfully pair bond. And then you'll be like, all men ain't shit.
Right.
Prepare yourself. So that's the actionable item. The type of man you want, make sure he wants you too. Ready yourself for when you meet him.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to, connect yourself with someone you trust. Like, I think you mentioned in the past, like, there should be a man in your life you respect, or someone Absolutely. That you can get advice from. Or
there should, like Jen said, there should be a man in your life that you love, adore, respect, and wouldn't mind being in a relationship with that type of man. And you can pick his brain and allow him to help you file through your dating life. Yeah. And tell you like, nah, this ain't it, that ain't it. He don't just exhibit these qualities. You said something one time, I need you to say it again, about like the epiphany you had, like why back in the day the father used to choose the do you remember what you said? 'Cause that's dope.
Yeah, there was I think it was an element of like fathers chose sons, or excuse me, there was an element of fathers choosing the mate for their daughter because the father would know what type of man it was. Like the father would ask all the hard questions. The father would, determine like, oh yeah, he's a good man. He has this, he has that, or oh no, he might be weak. Or so he would kind of, I guess, interview the guy or like kind of understand what type of man he was, because the daughter or women are way too emotional to make those types of decisions because they can't be, I guess like, I don't know what word I want to use, but we're not emotionless enough to say like, we'll make decisions like, oh, well, he does do that, but he does, like, we'll be a little bit more loose with our boundaries.
Y'all offer discounts.
We offer discounts.
But when back in those days, the father, he loved his daughter. I'm not marrying my daughter off to nobody that they're going to want a discount from my daughter.
Right.
That he going to marry his daughter off to somebody that's a firm, certain, and a plum. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I say that to say, find somebody, a male figure in your life that you trust, and allow this person to help you understand what you need and the type of man that you are fitted for. Because every woman want a good man until it's time to be a good woman. Y'all want a king, but y'all not king size. Ooh. Every woman ain't fit for a king. Ooh. You're not even king size with these long lists of demands.
I know, it's crazy. I was thinking one last thing too is we're women, I'll speak for myself, we're so caught up on making sure that our needs are met, right? Like, oh, I just need this and I need this. And we're trying to pick a man based on things that we think that we need. But I think it's kind of I don't know, you kind of shoot yourself in the foot, because I think it's more important to determine if you can meet the needs of a man. Like, what does he want? What would keep him? And I know you're saying that, but I think I spend a lot of time and have spent a lot of time really focusing on the needs of a man and what men want. Like, I think that's how we even came up with the topic, because it was just like, I am so invested in being what a man wants, because that makes sense to me. That's like trying to get a job,
but I want to say,
and you're not preparing for the interview.
Right. I want to say something though too about this. I really do, and like, so there is probably a way larger group of women that don't understand what men need. But for the small group of women that are like me, that spent entire life trying to please a man and doing everything you can to meet his needs to where yours are unmet, right? Like I can't tell you how many relationships I've been in. And again, that's still my fault, but I can't tell you how many relationships I've been in where I wasn't coming the whole entire relationship, and
what?
I was, yeah. You know this.
What?
And I was making sure his
Well,
needs
was you
were
going?
met.
If you wasn't coming, you should have been going.
Exactly.
A lot of things should have been.
Right? So the point is remember too that your needs are important. And this is for the group of women that are more like me, because I cater to men. I do everything to make you feel like you're the most powerful man in the world. And then sometimes I lose sight of myself.
Because
I think that's a good little tidbit.
Men.
Yeah, but
Those
that was from an
men.
insecure place. I think if you're
It
secure,
was from an insecure place too.
But it still was the wrong men.
Yeah.
And I want to admonish our listeners out there that if you keep dating the wrong man, by the time you meet the right man, you're going to be the wrong woman. Preserve yourself.
That's true. That's good.
Take a strategic pause from dating.
That's true.
Self-reflect.
Because you become burnt out, and then, like you said, the right man could come along, and you're like, damn, I don't even have the energy to give you this anymore, you know, because I'm burnt out.
Yeah.
And then you're wasting your time and your energy on people who are not even deserving of what you really have.
Yeah, no, I went through that. I went through that because I was genuinely interested in men.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
I didn't know how interested. I remember when you first started asking me questions about just men and women and femininity. I didn't know that you were serious. Like,
dead serious.
And by serious, I mean like she might as well have been in college for femininity.
Yeah. And some people,
like,
some women don't naturally have a feminine thing. So it's like you go so hard to learn that, and I admire that. You know?
I mean, I didn't know because I'm a girl. Like, I didn't think anything of it until someone was like, and I knew that I had went through a weight change and I had, I knew I wasn't like at my best, but I also didn't, I've never heard a man say like, oh, you're so girly, or ooh, I love you.
But it's deeper than
but
just weight. That's surface level. You remember the talk we had when I first had to tell her, I had to tell her that she's not feminine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
and
funny.
Let me say this: a lot of women associate femininity with the costume, lipstick, eyelashes. No. Femininity
is an aura.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But that is important too, because that's what gets his attention in the first place.
Yeah,
I think that's why
it's a double whammy. But what I'm saying is, I'm gonna let you land this. What I'm saying is, you can have the eyelashes and a nice curvy body and still not be feminine.
For sure. And the crazy thing is I'm a testament to that, because when I was big as hell, Jen, you even see the pictures, like my friends.
No one can tell you nothing.
My friends would be like, no one can tell you nothing. You would be in the mirror sexy.
Boy,
and I was about 300, pushing 300 pounds.
I promise you. And she would still put on a little DJ Pork Chop, would throw them Victoria's Secret bras on and take a flick in a minute.
Oh,
yes, hello.
Like she was always,
I would make sure, because
which is why it's even doper to see now you're starting to hit on all cylinders. The inside is there, the outside is there, the mentality is there. It has to hit on all cylinders, ladies. And I'd be remiss if I didn't say I love women. I sit around and help and build women all week long. I see 50 plus women every week. The advice I'm giving you guys, I know sometimes it sounds real brass and it comes across malignant, but I love you. I want you to get the thing you want. No one has ever told you the truth, because y'all fall in love with lies. You fall in love with a lie. That's why a lot, I ain't gonna say no names, but other shows are popular because they pander to women. They lying to you.
Yeah.
Even a lot of influencers, what's the guy named? Derek Jackson?
Cheating on his wife the whole time.
They loved him, but he was a lie.
A lie.
They loved him. I'm not judging his transgressions. I don't have a moral high ground to sit on. But what I'm saying is, y'all fall in love with a lie. But do you want a beautiful lie or the ugly truth?
I always want the ugly truth.
I'm trying to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
And that is the advice I'm giving you to help you get there. Your mothers should have taught you this. If your fathers was around and your uncles, they should have taught you this. It's not your fault that you went your whole life and been on earth 30-something human years and have yet to pair bond with a man and don't know what femininity is. That's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. You have to rectify it if you want to move forward and create a legacy with someone. So, guys, Azar has taken her shoe off. So I guess that means that we are
wrapping up. These what do they say? These dogs are barking, okay? So anyways, we just want to say thank you guys again for tuning in. Our subscribers are like skyrocketing. We have more people joining and just tuning into our podcast every day. We are obsessed with y'all. We love y'all so much. And we are coming to a city near you soon because we do plan on taking this show on the road.
Pause. Don't we got a hotline number?
We do have a hotline number.
Do you have it off the top of your head, or can you put it in the description? Because you guys can call and leave us messages and tell us about what's going on, and we could talk about it on air or just ask a question. So please, we'll put the hotline number in the description because y'all be blowing our comments up. Y'all crazy. And unlike a lot of podcasts and a lot of platforms, we generally never edit. Whatever you got to say, good, bad, or ugly, we let it stand. So go ahead, call in that number, say what you got to say, ask a question, and join the conversation.
Exactly.
Thank you.
We love y'all.
Bye.
The shoe is crazy.
All right, guys, that is it. We have ran out of time. But if you like what you heard or disagree with what you heard today, please let us know. Follow us on Instagram at the UAF Podcast, and also like and subscribe to our YouTube, the UAF Podcast. Again, we always read your comments and we always respect your perspective. Thank you for tuning in. This is the UAF crew, and as always, we are not sorry.